Chris, thank you very much for your time. Let's start by saying that I'm sure everybody watching this press conference and everybody in this room just sends their best wishes and condolences to Liam. We've been inundated with messages, not just from the red half of Bristol, but from the blue half of Bristol. How much do you think that the love and support that Liam's getting at the moment will help him and his family through this difficult period?
Yeah, it's. I have to say it's been a beautiful thing I get told a lot about it, about the support online, and I'm not on. I've got social media accounts, but I'm never really on there. So people have been keeping me up to date with the support, it's been huge, and it'll be a huge in time support for Liam, Fran, and Isaac, his little boy as well. So obviously it'll be. It's been a horrible 4 or 5 days, which obviously you can imagine, even more so for Liam and his family. But the support, I can't thank people enough for the support that they've had as a family, and speaking to Liam as well, I know how much he appreciates it.
Yeah, because you're a colleague of Liam's, but also a very good friend. I was at Ashton Gate last night, the floral tributes. I think football fans are just rallying behind him at the moment.
It's a beauty of football, I think, and it brings people together, and it kind of unites people in a way that not many other things can. And obviously this time, again, I keep saying it, but it's a beautiful thing to see people rallying around Liam and his family. And listen, we have to respect the privacy and allow them to go through what they're going through and be there and support them in any way we can. And I said, he's a colleague of mine, but he's a personal friend, probably one of my closest friends. And it's not been an easy time to see him go through what they're going through, but I'll just reiterate the point. It's been a beautiful thing with the football family coming together, and the supporters of the city of Bristol, blue or red, have sent a lot of positive messages. So just thank people for that, because without them knowing it, it's a massive help.
Yeah, there isn't a City fan who isn't thinking of Liam at this time, so I'm sure he'll appreciate that. How are the players? It can't have been easy, A, telling the players, and B, start preparing for a match on Saturday.
No. You can tell it, we're all human beings. We're run by emotions, thoughts, feelings. It wasn't an easy thing to do on Monday to tell them. I think that the unique thing, the bond that Liam has with the players, and some of the relationships that he's formed, and some of the respect that's around the building for him, it's palpable. You can see people from all staff members to the players, and it's affected everyone at the football club, and naturally so. It shouldn't be a thing that kind of somebody should have to go through as a family, and I know my love goes out to any family that's experienced anything along the lines of what they're experiencing at the minute. But the players have been good, obviously affected by the news Monday, but they've tried the best to train and do things that we want them to do, because ultimately we're professional sports people, and unfortunately the game doesn't stop to allow people to really process emotions and feelings. So we have to do our best really and pull together. And I think one thing that myself and Liam have tried and wanted to do with the football club since we've been here is just to have a bit of unity and unify everyone and bring everyone together. I see it with the group now. I see them working hard every day. Prior to this last week, I see them, their attitude, their efforts, how good people they are first and foremost. But I also see the fear, the anxieties in them, which obviously gets exasperated when we have events like what we've had. And I think, again, the more support that people, the supporters, myself can give the players, the better chance they've got in terms of coming through it as a united group and showing the qualities and making sure that they can do themselves proud and do the football club proud.
I imagine on Monday the last thing you wanted to do was prepare a training session and the players go to the training ground. Is there a bit on Saturday, come on, let's do this for Liam and his family?
I think naturally, just going back to again the respect and the relationship that everyone has with Liam, is naturally I think you will get that. But it's about us controlling our emotions as well, and being as present as we can in the moment to be organised, to go to Middlesbrough and try to put on a good performance and do our best we can ultimately. Again, going back to all Liam's ever wanted really, and he speaks about it quite regularly, is trying to be the best we can be. And there's been good signs of that. You look at after the 3 games in, when I see the connection between the fans and the players after Millwall, I still get goosebumps thinking about after that game in terms of the support and the connection between them. So I think all we can do is ask the players to go and give the best, and hopefully get behind them and unite everyone behind the team and the players, because they need help. They're human beings. It's not an easy thing to go through as a person in general, and I know that the red part of the city will be right behind them, and I'm not sure the blue half will be come Saturday, but yeah, that'll mean so much to the players to allow them to go and just focus on doing the best they can.
And of course Liam will be a big miss in the dugout on Saturday, but the fact that you two work together so closely, are you confident you'll be able to get the same messages across to the players this weekend?
Yeah, listen, I hope so. We're so close in terms of how we work on a personal level, in terms of I love his family like my own, and likewise within my mind. So messages are consistent. Listen, in a week like this you can't change too much. It's around trying to tweak a few things, get it to Middlesbrough, but all I'm asking from the players is they back themselves, believe in themselves, and try and put themselves in a place where they can go express themselves and put on a good performance and be hard to beat, really. So yeah, my relationship with players is good. I love working with them every day. I see them just good people. They're a really good group to work with, and I just want them to feel free enough to go and express themselves and play.
Bearing in mind this week's news has put everything into perspective, how do you reflect on the games leading up to the international break, those 3 draws, and especially at home against Sheffield Wednesday and Cardiff, maybe a frustration you didn't convert your chances and get more from those games? Yeah,
for sure. I think actually if you break the games down, there was a lot of good against Sheffield Wednesday in terms of some of the out possession stuff against a really difficult team. We need to win more football games. You look at the draws we've had. Some of the performances have reflected a draw, but some of the performances actually we have to do better at turning them into wins, and there's no doubt about that. But I think one thing you see is a resilience with the group, being able to come back from behind again against Cardiff, fighting, scrapping away against Sheffield Wednesday. The group can do tough things, and it's about them trying to get over the line in a positive manner.
Ahead of the games with Oxford and Swansea, we're talking about maybe how to stop conceding goals, and that's improved. How do you score more goals? And so the pressure's not on your striker, the lone striker up front to get the goals. Are you confident there are more goals in this team?
Yeah, if anyone's got the answer to that, there'll be a multi-millionaire in terms of if he can guarantee goals. It's continuing work. There's been some good signs in front of goal, and the last touch to put it in. We've created some really good opportunities and missed them. It's about momentum, the game of football, and being on top and scoring when you're on top. So I think even in the games you mentioned pre the international break, there's moments there where you're on top, miss good chances, and you lose a little bit of momentum, because naturally there's another good team on the football pitch trying to stop you from scoring, and then trying to put it in the back of your net, obviously. So for us, it's to continue to work, and what we do have is different profiles up the top in terms of young players who will only get better. It's about us trying to give them time, but also putting pressure on them to produce, and making sure that they are producing for us in the right moments.
How is the squad looking? Am I right in saying there's at least 1, possibly 2 players out with suspension this weekend, or?
Mark Sykes suspended, yeah, so he picked up his 5th booking last weekend, so he's suspended. Obviously we've had a few people away, international duty and stuff, so Sinks is due back in tomorrow, so we'll get Eisen in for the first time tomorrow. Knighty's come back great from international duty, same with Max O'Leary. So squad-wise, not too much to report really.
And Cam Pring, we feared the worst when he was stretchered off, but are you hoping to see him back in action sooner rather than later? We're talking just weeks, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, because obviously he's been communicated around his injury. It's quite a unique one in terms of the laceration on his leg, so again, that'll be a time, that'll be, if we can try and obviously speed it up, obviously he's getting everything he can to help that, but ultimately it'll be on his body's healing system, that one.
And a reunion potentially with Tommy Conway. How do you reflect on working with him last season? And I guess some fans were disappointed that he left the club in the summer. It might be 1 or 2 nerves from his part, facing his former club for the first time?
I'm sure he'll be fine. Tommy, my relationship, like Tommy come through this academy, obviously the club meant a lot to him as a player, and I think everyone was disappointed when he left, but I always wish him all the best, always have, in terms of footballers. You make a decision in a short career, and he obviously got advised and deemed it was the best thing for him, and once we knew that, then it was a case of moving on and trying to replace and try and think of different strategies to try and get a team on the pitch that would hopefully give us a successful season. So say hello, be respectful, and ultimately it's business on Saturday, and I know he still speaks to a lot of the boys and stuff, so football, you're always coming across people you know and who you've played with or played against or managed or coached against, so yeah, it is what it is.
Middlesbrough born, am I right in saying? What I mean, how much of association did you have with Middlesbrough? Did you ever support them growing up, or did you move away?
No, my family are Middlesbrough supporters. So it's a place actually I don't go back too much because of the distance these days. Get run right by my kids at home, and but yeah, Middlesbrough born. I love the town. It's my home. Never hear a bad word said about it. So yeah, I'll be very brief, obviously, because we'll be in and out with the game on Tuesday. But my family and stuff will be there, which will be nice to see them briefly before and after the game. But probably give them a big kiss and a hug off the events of the last 4 or 5 days. But yeah, it's just another game. I think when you're in football as long as what I have been, it's you get used to coming across old teams, places where you're from, all that stuff. So yeah, it's just another game. We've got to go there and try and put on a performance.
And you got a good result there last season. I mean, Michael Carrick is a highly rated manager, and I'm sure they'll be challenging this season. What kind of test is Middlesbrough away on Saturday? Yeah,
it's a good test. It's one actually we should be excited for in terms of a good level of game, good football game. Obviously, I've kept a close eye on Middlesbrough being from there, and I know obviously one of the members of his staff, couple of members of his staff as well, were good people. It's a top football club, and it's a good challenge for us because they're a good team. They've built well over the last 18 months in terms of the squad. Good style, good players. Michael himself, every time you used to watch him play, but every time you spoke to him or speak to anyone, he's a top guy, and he's obviously going to go on to be a top coach, in my opinion.
And rest assured, we're looking forward to the game finally, but at 3 o'clock we'll all be thinking of Liam and his family.
Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm not sure if you've talked about this already, but obviously you're here in terrible circumstances. How is that affecting the club? How is everyone?
Not great. There's no hiding from it in terms of that emotional response over the last 4 or 5 days. It's a difficult conversation you have to relay the news, and everyone's thoughts as well as the wider community is obviously with Liam, Fran and the family. So yeah, it's not been an easy 4 or 5 days to say the least. But I was just saying before, where one thing that is warm in my heart is how beautiful the response has been from the wider public, and since the statements got put out there, and I know that's given them a source of strength and something to hold on to. So I've said previously, I can't thank people enough for that. In terms of it'll be massive for the family as they move through this process.
It has been quite humbling almost, hasn't it, to see the kind of extent of the response from all the different clubs around the country and everything. Does that kind of show what the football family's about, I guess?
Yeah, it definitely does, but it's also a sign of the man that Liam is as well, around the respect he has in the game, and also the respect he has around the building and around this football club, because you can visibly see people, the emotional responses have been different. Some people handle things differently, but the effect it has had on a lot of us is very stark. So that's due to obviously the respect that people have for Liam and his family. And I was just saying previously, like, I love them the same as I love my own family. So it's been hard for everybody, and but it is a beautiful thing. Football brings people together. It's a warm, and every situation in the past where there's been hardships in the country, it's usually a sport that brings it together, and football is normally one of the first sports that unites everybody. And I think all Liam's ever wanted since we come into the football club is a bit of unity and people pulling together and being united behind the players and behind the football club. So it's been really warming to see that, and the players are definitely going to need that support and that help.
How hard has it been to focus on Middlesbrough? Because that's obviously, you know, it carries on. The football carries on.
Yeah, it's. I was just saying previously, the news and everything that the family are going through, you want to be there and help them and support them. And ultimately, though, we live in a professional sport, that doesn't stop, unfortunately. So this week for the players and a lot of the staff really is about trying to process the emotions, lend support, offer help wherever we can, and for Liam and his family to know that we're all here for them and we're all supporting them with whatever they need at whatever time. But it puts football in significance, really. But on the flip side of that, it also gives you something and the players something to focus on and try and drive their energy and be united behind trying to put on decent performance. So yeah, it's not been easy, but hey, we're all human beings. I've just said before, we're full of emotion and fears and anxieties, and we all walk around whatever we do with these feelings inside of us. And again, the easiest way and the best way to overcome some of them fears and anxieties is to have people supporting you and having your back. So the Bristol City fans, I know, will do that with the players, that's for sure.
Turning then to Saturday's game, because you know you have to. How do you assess what Middlesbrough, the challenge Middlesbrough are going to bring to you? Obviously, they're at home. They're going to be up for it. They want to push up the table. Is it going to be what do you think the kind of challenge they're going to pose?
It's not going to be an easy one, that's for sure. They're a good team. They've added well to the squad over the last 18 months or so. Real consistent messages from the manager, who's in my opinion is going to be a top manager and already probably is a top coach. He's got staff there working behind him, so it's going to be a hard challenge. It's an exciting challenge for us, really, in terms of after the week we've had, to go there and try and express ourselves and compete and be hard to beat and go and do what we do, really, and get back to showing what Bristol City can be all about, together fighting to win a football game, but trying to do it our way, which is the challenge. But the lads will be focused. They'll be fine. They'll be ready to go on Saturday.
Has there been any chat amongst the centre backs about coming up against young Tommy Conway?
No, there's no time for that this week, I have to be honest. It hasn't been a week where there's too much of that type of chat from the players, not in front of me anyway. But we're prepared. We've done everything this week like we normally would. The beauty of how Liam and myself work is the week was already done, so my job really is to just make sure it runs how we intended it to run before the weekend. So yeah, no, we'll be planned, we'll be prepared, get my words out, and yeah, we'll give it a good go.
Any updates on injuries and stuff? Is there anyone coming back who's going to be available for the...
No, nobody coming back. Obviously, Pringy's still out with his laceration. Max Sykes suspended. The rest of the lads are still going through some of the rehab and stuff. So there's not too many changes in the squad, really. Just boys returning back from international duty. So Big Sinclair's in tomorrow to get eyes on him for the first time. 90 come back, great to have him back in this morning. He's a huge part of this football club and this group. Max O'Leary again back in as well. So Naki Wells obviously coming back in after being away and doing really well with Bermuda, which was terrific to see him going away and getting some minutes and getting a couple of goals. So yeah, not too many changes.
Okay, thank you.